This is the Secure Family Podcast. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy. This show is all about empowering parents to protect themselves and their family. I believe that security is the foundation of happiness, and I want your family to be safe and happy. If that sounds like something that resonates with you, subscribe to the show because there's always something new to talk about. The information that I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions for yourself and your family, because our safety is our own responsibility. Today, we're going to discuss 6 topics that every family should address this year in order to live a safer, happier life. And the last one, I guarantee you won't see coming. All of that and more coming up on the Secure Family Podcast. Welcome to 2026. I want this to be the best year that you can have. A lot of us are making resolutions to get serious when it comes to exercise, what we need to eat, or giving up a bad habit. I think 2026 needs to be the year you get serious about your digital life. If you're starting a clean slate this year, your online footprint needs to be a part of that. In this new year, I predict that your privacy will erode even further, data brokers will get bigger, and social media companies will continue to profit from scam ads. No one is going to advocate for us. Selling our data is just too profitable. This needs to be the year you put your foot down and refuse to have your life, your data, and your family's data bought and sold. One of the best things that you can do is let Delete Me go to work for you. They'll remove your data from hundreds of data broker sites so you'll get some of your privacy back. Go to joindeleteme.com/dad and use promo code DAD to get 20% off your Delete Me plan. Delete Me is a sponsor of the Secure Family Podcast. Congratulations, you have made it to 2026. Be proud of that accomplishment. While we get caught up in the modern stresses of life, like the promotion at work, credit card bills, and what dip I'm going to serve at my Super Bowl party, we forget something important. We're humans, and our main goal in life is to survive. Our ancestors did it, and we're doing it too, but with smartphones, credit scores, and things called laboo-boos. We don't want to think about it, but bad things can happen to us and to people we care about. So today, I want to share with you a few ways that you can improve your life and the chances of you being safer and happier in this new year. If you're listening to this show, then chances are you've thought about the things that could potentially one day, maybe, kinda, happen to your family. Professionals call this making a threat assessment. It's when you look at your family's life in a full 360 degrees to see what the big problems are and then how you can mitigate them. Of course, you can't stop everything bad from happening, but you can at least make a plan on what to do. Case in point, if you live in Florida, you have the yearly threat of a hurricane. You can't stop that, but you can plan to make yourself aware and know what to do so that you're prepared if a storm heads your way. Threats also include financial problems like a loss of income or having your bank account compromised. Maybe your daughter has an ex-boyfriend who won't leave her alone. How are you going to deal with that? Your teenage son might make a mistake and get blackmailed for sending an inappropriate photo. What can you do to prevent that? What can you do to plan for it if it happens anyway? These are the things that could happen to the average family in 2026. I want you to be ready, not paranoid. Turn your stress into a plan and help you deal with all of the uncertainties of life. Hopefully, you'll never have to use any of your threat assessment that much, but it's going to be there for you when you're ready and you need it. So this is why in 2026, I'm encouraging you just to sit down for a few minutes and sketch out your own family threat assessment. And it could go over all the things that we just talked about and maybe a few more that we're going to discuss. No, this is not morbid to sit down and think about these sorts of things because you're doing it to be prepared, you're doing it for mitigation, and you're doing it out of love to protect your family. Technology is going to be a bigger part of our lives this year. When it comes to AI, social media, and hacking, December of 2026 will look vastly different from the 12 months previous. So now is the time to set tech boundaries for yourself and your kids. When it comes to social media, A lot of states and now countries are pushing to ban everyone under the age of 16 from using the platforms. What we learned last year was that social media companies are actually profiting too much from teen and younger accounts to really protect them. It's not financially responsible. While kids are smart and capable, their young brains are just not ready for this soulless algorithm. If your kid had a friend that took up 4 hours of their life every day, told them that they weren't pretty enough, and made them compare themselves to everybody else on the planet, you would tell your kid not to hang out with that kid anymore. But that's what social media does. Not to mention peer pressure, negative comments, porn, and predators in their DMs. Can you make social media work for a teenager? Maybe, with a lot of work and a lot of dedication. So you need to find that happy medium that's going to fit your family. Also, in this coming year, AI is going to take over even more. And while it feels like AI is already everywhere, it's going to be more frequent this year. And I'm not afraid of AI yet. We can make all the Skynet jokes that we want, but we're not there yet. The bigger threat of AI is not AI itself. AI isn't doing this to us. It's companies that feel that it's okay to give jobs to AI. It's nation states that deploy it on social media to change national opinions or to sway elections. It's advertisers who use it to track us and use our data to build profiles that we don't even know about. Don't be afraid of Frankenstein's monster. Be wary of the mad scientist. We do need laws to regulate this. We need lawsuits that are going to change policies. If left unchecked, humans will hide behind AI to justify the destabilization of our markets, our government, and our everyday way of life. So this is why we need to set boundaries for how we use technology. Question what you watch and what you read, because it's going to get harder this year to spot a fake TikTok video or to spot a news article that's been written by a computer. Make sure that your kids also have healthy boundaries and that you share with them why you have these rules so that they know that it's not them that you don't trust. It's the algorithm. It's AI. It's all the other things. At some point in 2026, you're probably going to lose power or have your internet knocked out. In fact, while I was writing the script for this episode, we lost the internet for like 7 hours. A loss of communication can happen for a lot of reasons, mostly natural disasters. And I'm talking hurricanes, wildfires, earthquakes, they're all top contenders. But then again, you never know when a suicide bomber is going to blow up an RV outside of the AT&T building in Nashville on Christmas Day and take out a large part of our infrastructure. Regardless, you need to have a plan on how you're going to communicate with your family and friends during this type of an outage. The simplest thing that you can do if your internet goes out or the power goes out in your house is just check down to your smartphone. And now if that's not available, then you're going to have to get creative. For communicating with your neighbors, you might just want to invest in some inexpensive FRS radios. These are those cheap blister pack radios that talk on 22 channels. Getting 3 or 4 of those and hand those out to family and neighbors will be helpful in coordinating plans and then just checking in on people. If you want to go a step further, you can get an emergency radio like a GMRS or ham radio that have more power and can talk for a longer distance. Now, these 2 radio types do require a license to operate for fun, but during an emergency, you can use them to get help. There are tons of them that you can get right now on Amazon. Right now, I'm actually recommending the Baofeng UV5R Mini as an emergency radio. It comes ready to transmit on FRS, MERS, GMRS, and ham frequencies. Just do a little work beforehand to learn your local radio repeaters, and then just program them in using a free software called Chirp. But there's also something called Meshtastic. Now, this is an off-grid communication using radios to send short text messages. While I'm just getting started with this, and it's a lot of fun to try to figure out, it's not going to be as reliable as a cheap little FRS radio. But if you want to try a Meshtastic, I encourage you to do so, but know that very few people in your area may also have a Meshtastic device, unless you live in a place like Austin, New York, or a city that's invested in a local mesh system. And if that's the case, it can really work great. But unless you're in one of those scenarios, I wouldn't fire up one of these things thinking that it's going to save the world. That's where I think a handheld radio is really going to help you. No matter what service you choose to fall back on, make sure that you get everything that you need before the storm arrives and that you know how to use it. In 2026, we are going to see more and more Wi Fi jammers being used to stifle wireless cameras and alarm systems. I've been reporting on this for a long time, and I'm seeing more and more news stories that show unsophisticated criminals using Wi Fi jammers for simple home break ins. Technology is nice to have for home security, but it's passive and it isn't going to physically protect you from an intruder. This is why you need to go old school for home security this year. To really protect your home, you need a layer of physical defenses. That means adding light to your property, reinforcing doors, and making a habit of locking up. FBI statistics clearly show that the most common way a thief enters your home is through the front door. There's even been this TikTok thing where teenagers are kicking in doors and then just running off. So protecting your doors is a great way to protect your home and your family. You know that I like a flip lock. It's a great secondary lock for any door. If you have a sliding glass door, you can put a dowel rod in the track to keep it from being forced open from the outside. And if you're concerned that somebody just may throw a brick through your window or your sliding glass door, then you can get a window security film from 3M. Chances are the car tent place in your town actually sells and installs this stuff, so you can just pick up the phone and call them. It's really as simple as that. So while alarm systems and cameras are nice to have, and I do recommend them, you don't want to solely rely on them. And of course, you can spend the time and the money to get a wired surveillance system installed in your home. Personally, I think that's money well spent. Those particular cameras don't use Wi-Fi, so they won't be susceptible to a Wi-Fi jammer. Now, of course, if you want to know more about a layered home security strategy, you can check out my book on Amazon. It's Home Security, The Secure Dad's Guide, and it walks you through all the different layers that you need to protect your home in a simple, easy-to-understand format that any family can do. Just go to Amazon and search for The Secure Dad. You know how I feel about privacy, and I think we are losing more and more of it every day. And no, I don't have anything to hide, but that doesn't mean that companies, municipalities, and social media platforms need to know everything about us. Just look how much we lost in 2025. Flock grew its presence across the country and even added drones. ICE got a facial recognition app that can be used on a smartphone. The government is trying to keep states from making laws that regulate AI. Multiple companies have experienced massive data breaches. Oh, and Palantir is just out there doing Palantir things. And the list goes on too long for me, and I'll just get depressed. And that was just in 2025. The surveillance networks that so many people were okay with being turned on for other people are going to start to be turned on for them. Too many people are okay with government surveillance because they think they're not a criminal. A common, unfortunate idea is that if you're not a criminal, then nobody's going to bother you. Just wait. The surveillance systems that were put into place to catch criminals will soon be tracking all of us. So this year, I beg you to take your personal privacy seriously. If we don't, I can't imagine how bad it's going to be for the next generation. Oh, and I think there'll be some sort of massive data breach from a government database, and we're going to see exactly what they know about us. We have to pump the brakes on this. I think our future and our happiness relies on it. So here's the last little tidbit that I'm going to share that we can use to better protect our families in 2026. You need to get a lawyer. If you haven't gotten one already, please get one. I hope you don't have to need the services of a lawyer, but it's better to have one in your phone than scrambling to get help when you need it the most. All jokes aside about lawyers, there are really good men and women out there who really want to help people like us. You might need to stand up to your HOA, revise some legal documents, or protect yourself after an accident. Or you might need somebody to help you talk to the police after a life-changing event. Do your research now for somebody in your area who can help you. Meet with them and find out what their strengths are and how quickly they can respond to your needs. See if you're a good match. Maybe go as far as to get a lawyer on retainer, or maybe just have their business card in your pocket. But having a legal ace up your sleeve in 2026 is probably going to be one of the best things that you can do to protect yourself, your family, and your good name. Now, again, I hope you don't have to use any of the stuff that we've discussed today, but we can't predict the future, and we can't stop earthquakes from happening. But we can be prepared, and knowing what to do immediately and having the tools that you need makes all the difference in the world. I wish you the best of luck in 2026. I hope it is going to be the best year of your life. I hope it's going to be the best year of my life as well. And don't forget, we're going to go through this together. That's all that I have for the Secure Family Podcast for today. Thank you, friend, for listening. Take back your privacy and personal data with help from Delete Me. Get 20% off a privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. Delete Me is the official data removal service of the Secure Dad. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new today, I'd be grateful if you'd follow the show, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, or leave a 5-star review. If you'd like to know more about the Secure Dad, join me on Instagram and Twitter. My username for both platforms is TheSecureDad. And of course, my website is available to you 24/7 at TheSecureDad.com. I'm Andy Murphy reminding you that our safety is our own responsibility.